Hey, it's hashtag Ask Lauren. All right, I'm gonna do all the vegan questions, part 2. You guys like asking me vegan questions, so here we go. Okay, Maddie Greenlee says, how do you feel about hunting? Me and my daughter are full vegan. However, my husband mostly eats vegan, but sometimes eats deer that his father hunts. What's your opinion? Well, my opinion on hunting is I would never go hunting. I would never endorse hunting. But if you are gonna eat meat, then I think that you should hunt and then see how you feel about eating meat. So basically I'm telling you to go kill an animal, but what I'm saying is you're eating animals anyways, and you don't know where they're coming from. So at least you should have to kill something and feel okay about eating it. Now, I'm not saying it's okay if you feel good about it and then you just keep hunting. I'm just basically saying, I'm gonna get myself into trouble with this one, but I just mean like you should know where your meat comes from if you're gonna eat meat. See if you still feel the same way about it. If you can't do it, then you shouldn't eat it. Do you know what I'm saying? If you can't kill the animal and eat it yourself, then why should you eat it anyway? I mean, obviously I hate hunting and I think people who hunt, like why? Why is that something you enjoy? It's very complicated because there are obviously like indigenous tribes in various parts of the world, and hunting is how they get their food, and they don't have access to the kinds of things that we do here in North America or, you know, in major first world countries, maybe. And so that's their means of getting food. Do I want to condemn them for that? No, I think it's a totally different situation. But I think if you live in a world where you have all the choice, like most of us do watching these videos on YouTube, then hunting really, like I don't know what to say. You just shouldn't hunt. Why would you want to hunt deer? I don't know, it's a very simplistic answer. I'm trying not to get too whatever about it. So that's my thoughts. So if your husband is mostly vegan and then from time to time he eats that deer that his father hunted, and maybe there's no getting through to your father-in-law about veganism, and that's whatever. If your husband wants to eat that meat once in a while, okay, fine. Like, I'm not gonna judge him. I think there are people who are okay with being vegan most of the time. And then maybe if they happen to be somewhere where they know where the meat came from, maybe it is wild game, maybe it's from their friend's farm or something, and they actually know, then whatever, then eat it. It's once in a while. The fact that you're eating vegan like most of the time, like 95% of the time, is super great. So if you want to eat that deer that your father killed once or twice a year, okay. I mean, I wouldn't make him, I don't know, it's like, obviously he's your husband, so you don't want to make him feel bad, and I don't know that you should make him feel bad, because I think he's doing something really good by being vegan most of the time anyway. That being said, if you hate and are against hunting and killing animals, then, you know, you should have more maybe of a serious conversation with your husband about it so he can understand those feelings, and maybe he'll change his mind. Okay, Eva said, have you ever thought of doing a vegan collaboration with other vegan chefs? Sorry if you've asked this before. It would be awesome to see you and Chloe Coscarelli work together. Well, I love Chloe Coscarelli, and what an amazing thing she's doing for the vegan movement, having been on Food Network and won the competition, and starting this restaurant that she has in New York, and she's obviously a massive influence on a lot of vegans, including myself. I mean, I don't know everything she does, but I definitely love her, and I think she's a great ambassador for the lifestyle. I haven't really thought about doing a collaboration, like a formal collaboration with any of the chefs, like the celebrity chefs. We were in Jean Bauer's book, Living the Farm Sanctuary Life, which had over 100 recipes in it, and we had a recipe in it for poutine, which is a Canadian dish of gravy and cheese curds on fries. And Chloe was in that book, and Moby was in that book, and a lot of other famous vegan chefs. So that's kind of like a collab at a distance. But I've never even come close to meeting any of these people, so I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty happy doing what I'm doing. We've done a couple collabs on YouTube and more to come, so I think we'll stick with that for now. Addie San Diego is interested in living the vegan lifestyle, but she's a dancer and she's dependent on meat to give her a boost of protein and iron. I know chia seeds are good sources of protein, but that hasn't been enough. Any suggestions? Okay, well, do I really need to list off every plant-based source of protein? I guess most people don't know, but like I've said before, this isn't the channel where you're going to get all the thorough vegan information, because if you just go to Google and you put plant-based sources of iron and protein, thousands of lists will come up. So those lists are your friends. There are lots of things. Beans, legumes, hemp hearts. A lot of vegetables contain protein and iron. Tofu, tempeh, lots and lots of things. Spirulina even, which is a supplement you can put into juice and stuff like that, and smoothies. So if you are athletic and you think you can't be vegan because you're too active and you need high protein diets, just look up vegan bodybuilders, vegan athletes. There are so many people who are plant-based, who are thriving on a plant-based diet, and they're very, very active, and they build muscle, and they eat enough calories. And I, of course, am not that person that does that, so I really can't talk to all the particular ways and methods in which to do this, but it can be done, and I've met these people. I'm not the only vegan on YouTube. I think I serve a purpose, and there are people who serve other great purposes, and you should go check those channels out and those websites out, because I'm just not that source of that information. But I will just 1000% tell you that you can be a dancer, you can be an athlete, you can be a bodybuilder, or any of these things on a plant-based diet 100%. But please do your research and take it step at a time. Like I always say, you don't have to become vegan overnight. And if you feel like you're still dependent on meat, switch out a serving of meat every day and gradually increase that until you find things that you like that you can eat. And you are going to have to learn how to cook, because you want to be healthy and you want to maintain your lifestyle, but also your activities. And you're just going to have to learn how to prep meals and make some things that you like, because you can't do it if you're going to be lazy. And people are being really great about reading the comments here on my channel, because people are offering up a lot of suggestions for other channels to watch where you can find this really detailed research and information. So I think that's great that you guys are helping out each other on here, because I can only do so much. I can only tell you so much, and it's not always going to be right either. Here's an interesting question. Jasmine said, what are your thoughts on in vitro meat or cultured meat? Do you think that this will be the future of meat and possibly the world turning vegan? Well, okay, I don't know exactly what in vitro meat or cultured meat is, but I think it's the thing where I've heard that they are growing meat in a lab. They're not killing animals to get this meat. It's like, I guess, how they cloned things. They're taking cells and somehow growing it in a lab. Now, that's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting. Do I feel like I want to eat that? Does that feel like something I want to eat? No. I get that these brands like Hampton Creek and Beyond Meat are making plant-based alternatives to food in what is considered a lab, and there's a lot of science behind them. And so you might argue well, you're eating lab-created processed food too. Yeah, fine, whatever, but I don't want to eat meat. I actually don't want to bite into meat, and I would assume that the cells of animals still have to be used to create that stuff. So it's not really vegan. It's not a vegan alternative. It's just maybe a cruelty-free alternative. I don't know. I think this is a big discussion. I don't have all the answers or the research, but if it somehow prevented, a lot of environmental problems, because you wouldn't have factory farms and you wouldn't have to be using up so much land, because now you're just creating meat in a lab, well, I guess that's ultimately good, but I think there's a few layers of argument here. It's an animal flesh product that's never been part of a living animal. Oh my God, this is freaky, isn't it? So I don't know. I would never buy it or eat it, obviously, because I'm vegan. So if it somehow is safe and they can guarantee that it's safe to eat, and it's priced very high, because I don't think it should be the cost of cheap meat. I think it should be a luxury item that people who want to spend that extra money and be weird and eat meat, they only get it. Is it going to solve world hunger? Is it going to be used for good things? I don't know. It's hard to answer that question, but I won't eat it. What are your favorite vegan cookbooks? Asked Camelius and White. Well, I don't look at cookbooks or vegan cookbooks. When I first went vegan, I looked at recipes I had a couple of vegetarian cookbooks, so I adapted things. But I think I've talked about my lack of love for cookbooks in the past. It's weird, because when you're a food blogger and somebody who develops recipes, you're obviously pulling inspiration from all over the place, places you eat out, traveling, other bloggers, you see things done a certain way and you try to adapt them or make them different or replace ingredients. So I just don't like actively look at cookbooks though, because A, I don't want other people's stuff influencing what I want to do. And I don't really find them all that interesting to me because I just create recipes from scratch all the time. So I have no need to really look at other cookbooks. There are some beautiful cookbooks like I've seen in the stores. Nom Yourself, she sent me one of hers. It's beautiful. It's great. And I love her and I appreciate her work. But she's kind of on that same thing that we do, so for me to like look and use her cookbook, like I haven't actually made anything from it. And maybe like on a fun day when I'm like not working, I'll actually make something from somebody's cookbook for fun. Like I haven't taken that really upon myself to do as like a review thing, just because I don't know, I just haven't found the time. But yeah, I can't really say that I have like a favorite vegan cookbook or like favorite ones, because I don't really look at many of them at all. Like I've looked at the shelves in bookstores just to like see what's out there and see who has a book, especially because I was trying to decide if I should do a book or not. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have any. I feel like all my answers are like, I don't know. Is there a way to eat sustainable eggs and fish, or is it just better to go fully vegan? Sophie McDonough. Okay, well, my simple short answer is that oftentimes when something is called sustainable or natural or free range or all of these buzzwords, they're often not. I mean, there's no such thing as sustainable fish, because taking fish out of the ocean is not sustainable. Ever. We're already in a crisis state with that. I guess eating farmed fish is what you consider to be the sustainable solution, maybe. But farming fish, just like farming beef or cows or pigs or anything else, just isn't sustainable. Land, water use, transport, all of these things. So no, there really is no sustainable way of consuming animal products. It's something that you've justified in your mind. So by just talking about these issues online and reading articles and stuff, you may come to a new conclusion sometime soon if you're curious and you're feeling like, oh yeah, I don't really feel good about this. This doesn't feel good inside, physically, mentally, and emotionally. You know, you're starting to feel that pull towards going vegan. And of course, my answer is, of course, it's just better to go fully vegan, because you're helping the planet, you're helping yourself. There are so many massive benefits to just going vegan rather than continuing to dabble in dairy products and egg products and being pescatarian or whatever. But people will make up all kinds of justifications to themselves for anything, whether it be food or behavior or anything. So like I always kind of say, I'm not really here to like make you feel bad and tell you to go vegan right now because of all the bad things you're doing. Like that's just not the case. If you're somebody who still eats eggs and you've purchased the more expensive eggs because they're supposedly free run, I mean, I encourage you to look up some of the opposing information that proves that there is no such thing as free run, that it is just a word marketers use to make you feel better about your purchase. And you can see the state of these farms in many, many videos on the internet. Basically, it just means there is a small little door that the chickens could possibly go run around in, but they're so rammed into the thing anyway that they actually can't. So it's like they were given the option, and yet they're not allowed to go out, or they just don't go out because they can't physically get out, or like their feet are broken, or their beaks are cut off, or whatever. So there's still lots of like issues surrounding farming animals for food. Like it's not sustainable. We consume too many of these products that it's becoming, there's too big of a demand, and so the practices are compromised. The way it's done just really is not sustainable. So go check out some other videos. I will try to link some stuff in the description below for you to watch if you're curious. As told by Allie, what are your favorite vegan junk foods? Well, I think you've seen from my What I Ate in a Day videos that I eat a lot of popcorn. I like my vegan cheese. I don't know if that's considered a junk food, but I guess it is. I like my vegan cheese sometimes, grilled cheese and stuff like that. I'm not a big sweets person. We try not to do too many sweets on the blog because A, they don't perform as well. People don't really care for some reason. They'd rather see savory recipes. And I don't really like sweets, and when I make them, I am left with them, and I don't want to eat that. I used to have a much bigger sweet tooth when I wasn't vegan, and now I'm more of a salty, savory, sour kind of taste person. I like a good cookie, though. Cookie's my favorite thing. So whether it's homemade or I buy something. Love vegan donuts. Talked about Beechwood Donuts before in St. Catharines. They're the best. And I don't know what else. I mean, I also do like vegan meat substitutes. I love vegan chicken, vegan burgers, vegan chicken fingers. Mainly the vegan chicken products I prefer. Field roast sausages. Or do you consider these things junk food? Probably, because they're packaged. So yeah, I like those products. And I think they're great for people who are transitioning. More vegan questions. This one's funny. Selena, going to Timmy's, what do you get? So Timmy's is Tim Hortons. For anyone who doesn't live in Canada. I think Tim Hortons is also in like New York State. What do I eat or drink as a vegan from Tim Hortons? I've had like black coffee because they don't have soy milk, although some of the locations are now supposed to have soy milk, but I've never found it, even in the city here. I've gotten like a vegetable sandwich with like mustard, cucumber, tomato, and lettuce on a plain bagel, I think like their plain bagels are vegan, or it was a bun, I don't remember, but this would have been a long time ago. I haven't eaten food from Tim Hortons in years. I think there's really nothing else you can eat at Tim Hortons, I don't think so, unless I'm wrong. Oh, I've had like the vegetable minestrone soup before too, which I probably had with the vegetable sandwich, but I don't go there because there's just, I mean, it's not fun to eat there. There's nothing fun to eat. Do I work out? Sometimes. I often go to hot yoga, but it's been a really long time. I've been so busy, I haven't been fitting it into my schedule. So I've been very inactive, basically since doing YouTube full time. I feel like I'm on the computer all hours and doing stuff all the time that I don't have time to work out. No, that's an excuse. I don't have time. I need to make time. I need to get up earlier and go, or whatever. But when it's winter and it's gloomy outside, which it's been gloomy as fuck for so long here, I get so unmotivated. I'm like in a big slump right now where I'm just like, I don't want to do anything. And I just get stuck in this work cycle. So that's kind of where I'm at now. But my whole life, I've always like had a workout routine. It was either gym, or sometimes I would do kickboxing, and I would go to yoga. For the last 5 years, I've been going to yoga regularly, until recently I kind of just stopped. So I just got to get back into it. I went a couple times, but like in the last month, which is nothing. Okay. Oh, she asked, how do you get into yoga? Tips for beginners. I mean, just go. I like doing like the free trial weeks or months at different studios until I find a studio that I like. Or you can find a lot of yoga videos on YouTube for free. There's also other websites where you can buy subscription for yoga classes online and do it at home. But you need to have a good space. Like, don't try to do it in a little crammed space because you'll be unmotivated and you won't do it. So I just say start trying it. There's so many different styles of yoga. There's so many different types of classes, so many different types of studios and teachers. And for me, it took me a long time to figure out like what I liked doing. You know, it took me a long time to find my groove in it. So it's not going to be an easy thing, because yoga is also like a mental exercise, and it really brings up a lot of stuff. So you will struggle with it for a long time, because it's not just a physical practice. It's a spiritual and mental and emotional practice as well. And so that even took a long time to click for me. Like, I didn't get it. So I was getting so frustrated. And that's because it brings up so much stuff while you're doing it. So it's this amazing thing that I love that it's part of my life. And in terms of people who are curious about it and don't really know where to start, like, just start going to classes. Just start exploring it by doing free stuff on the internet, tutorials and stuff like that, because I can't say what's going to work. Like, what works for me isn't necessarily going to work for you, and might not necessarily be what you like doing. So you got to find the style that you like. You got to find a teacher that you like, or a video series that you like. So I would just start that journey of exploring yoga and see where it takes you, because for everybody it's so personal and so different. Daniela asked if I drink fluoride-free water. I don't know. I have an alkaline filter, so it makes the water more alkaline, less acidic, like something about the pH levels. See, I'm even not that educated on it. You may have heard the discussion about how an acidic body with a acidic pH level is like the environment in which cancer grows in an acidic body. And so meat products and animal products all create acidity in your body, whereas eating a plant-based diet creates an alkaline environment, which is more of the thriving environment for cells and stuff like this. So I don't know. I have this alkaline filter. Actually, I'll go show it to you. From Santivia. They gave it to me at the trade show. So this is in a big old Brita canister, and I don't have the Brita anymore, but I use the canister, and then I put that in there and I just fill it from the tap. So I don't know if it gets rid of fluoride or what. But growing up, I didn't actually get fluoride from the dentist. My mom was anti-fluoride, or she thought we got enough of it in the tap water or whatever. So I do get fluoride now when I go to the dentist. because I don't friggin' know why I don't want it, but they just give it to you, and I don't even want to start an argument about why I don't want it. But you may have heard some discussion about how fluoride is bad and how it calcifies your pineal gland, which is like your third eye, which is like your intuitive sense. There's a whole thing, just look it up if you're interested. I am into all of these like theories, and I'm interested in all of these holistic ways of living and all this stuff. But sometimes I get really confused and exhausted about reading too much information and trying to figure out what the right thing to do is. As you saw in that What I Ate in a Day video where I talked about certain issues and everybody blew up at me, even though I was just having a conversation. I wasn't telling anybody to do anything. I get really overwhelmed by just like how you can't really do anything right anymore in this world, and there's so many corrupt and bad things going on, and you don't know who to trust, and this and that and the other thing. I mean, I don't know. I feel great. I feel fine. I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong or bad to my body at the moment. So in terms of not drinking fluoride, I don't really care, I guess. And I'm hoping that this thing is doing something, this filter. I'm not very aware of my fluoride intake. I have no idea. So anyways, if you would like to inform me of anything that I don't already know, because I've read all that stuff about fluoride and the pineal gland and all this stuff, then let me know. But like, I could be a real like hard ass about this stuff but I would drive myself crazy. Like, I would become so neurotic. And as much as I like holistic medicine, and I have gone to a naturopath when certain things are going, you know, wonky or whatever, you know, I'm like half in regular medicine and I'm half in natural medicine. I definitely lean obviously more to the holistic natural side of things. So it's just like I waver because it's just, you never know what to do, and at the end of the day you just got to make yourself feel okay. And so what's going to make you feel okay? And sometimes not knowing every little thing about everything makes me feel better, because if I knew every little thing about everything, I would go cuckoo. Those are all the vegan questions in a second installment for you. Go watch the first part where I answered more vegan questions and #AskLauren. I'll link it below. I'll link it right here. And thanks for watching. Make sure when you're leaving comments with questions for me, you use the #AskLauren so I can search and find them. And thank you for all your great comments and questions and feedback, and love you guys, and I'll see you on Monday for another brand new video. Bye!